came into the stars we rise.
This is Astrology Aesthetic, where you claim your power and remember who you really are. I'm Kiki, and together we'll work with the stars to guide the way. Welcome back, Starseed. All right, I want you to think about a time that you've received a text or an email and you read it and you're like, oh my gosh, like what is this person talking about? They're being so rude. And then say you eventually come in to contact with them again in person and you talk about that message and they're like, what do you mean? I was just like sending the information for the time or whatever it is, okay? And you're like, oh, I really took offense to that. I thought you were mad. And they're like, no, I was totally fine. And then in that moment, you realize that a lot can be open to interpretation via text or emails, and there is a reason for this. So in honor of Gemini season, the most chatty and curious and talkative social zodiac sign there is, we are going to be diving in a little bit more on communication and the words we use and all of that good stuff today on Astrology Aesthetic. So there is a communication model that I absolutely love and adore. I have been using this model for over a decade now, and it has saved my bacon so many times just because it really puts into perspective that communication is layered. So here's what it is. Albert Mehrabian is the one who created this model. He was a psych professor at UCLA, and there's 3 parts to this model, okay? Imagine like a pie graph, a little circle, and it's going to be split into 3 parts. 7% of it, of communication, is words. 38% is tone, and 55% is body language. I'm going to repeat that. Words are 7%, tone 38%, body language 55%. Now, let's go back to this text message, okay? Reading the text, it's meet at this place, blah, blah, blah. And with only 7% of the information of how this person is communicating, you do not even have close to the full picture. 7% is like, it's just such a minuscule amount. It's an important amount, but when you're missing the 38%, which is tone, and over 50%, right, the 55, which is body language, there's just so much that's left open to interpretation. And so, Starseed, what I invite you to do moving forward with this information is, if you're unsure, like, I know especially millennials hate phone calls, but if it's beneficial to clarify something in that moment, make the phone call, because at least you'll have almost half of the vibe, right? So words and tone, you would have the 45%, okay? But if it's an important conversation, definitely worth having like over a Zoom or something where you can see the person. If you can't be in person, just make sure that you can actually read and pick up on that person's body language, right? For example, have you ever talked to someone who you're maybe trying your best to express your feelings, and their arms are crossed, they have a scowl on their face, they're not saying anything with words or with tone, but their body language says plenty? Or on the flip side, if you've ever been at a party with a friend or at a dinner and you're ready to go, but you can't like announce that, but you make eye contact and you kind of make a head gesture, okay, like to the door, like let's get out of here. And no words were spoken, but everything was clear. So this is just such an integral part of how we talk to people and other starseeds and how we show up, and why words, body language, tone, all of it paints such a clear picture. And so this is me inviting you to scrap any important conversations that you've been planning to have over text or work stuff over email, whatever it is. Like, the best form always is in person. And if that can't happen, a Zoom or a Google Meet or whatever, okay? Or a FaceTime if it's a call with a friend. Just do what you can to see the body language, because that changes everything. And the more information you have, and vice versa, I feel like things land better and more clearly. So that is the mechanics of communication, right? The words, tone, and body language. Now, I want to jump into this next piece, which may be a little spicy, but that's up to you and your interpretation. I feel like if I don't share it with you, then who will? So here we go. So I'm sure you've all heard of Dr. Emoto, a Japanese businessman, author, pseudoscientist. He claimed that the human consciousness could affect the molecular structure of water. Okay, so he did an experiment where he got some crystal water, put it into different bottles, and would either play vibrational frequencies that were, equal to the frequency of love, or he would speak positive words to these bottles. And on the flip side, he would speak low vibration things, like use the words like hate or anger. And, just like across the board, like you make me sick, or love and appreciation. He used specific people as well. He spoke to some water about like Mother Teresa and other historical figures, okay? You can look this up online. And so what they did is they then froze the water, put it under a microscope, and the most fascinating thing happened is all of these different words and frequencies and people and phrases, they created different snowflake type things, okay? And they looked so beautiful when it was high vibrational things, and when it was like low vibration stuff, the molecules were all incredibly distorted and just not even equal to what like a beautiful snowflake was looking like, okay? Let's see if you see where I'm going with this. Humans are 60-ish% water. And the ish comes because I know it changes when we're younger versus when we're older. But overall, let's just use about 60% water. What do you think happens when we are speaking high vibrational things or low vibrational things, specifically about ourselves? Just sit with that for a second. What do you think happens when you look in the mirror and say, "Ew, I'm so ugly"? What do you think happens when you take a picture and you look at it and you say, "Ew, I'm so fat, delete that"? Like, you guys, starseeds, please, for the love of all that's good on God's green earth, what do you think happens when you are speaking these high or low, in this case low, vibrational things about yourself, who is 60% water? What do you think your body's going to do with that information? We've already talked about how the universe's only answer to you is yes. And so if you're saying, "I'm such an idiot," or "I'm so dumb," your body is quite literally going to absorb that frequency and that energy and do what with it? Well, it's probably going to create what we call dis-ease or disease, right? Disease or dis-ease is a frequency of impaired normal body function. And that results in like signs and symptoms, right? On the flip side, What do you think will happen when you look in the mirror and say, wow, I really am so beautiful? And if you don't feel like that in that moment, pick something that you love about yourself, like absolutely love. A great one to go to or to start with is, I really love my eyes. Wow, I really love my eyes. They are so unique. Or whatever it is that you choose. I really like that freckle on my cheek. Okay? So part of why this episode, I totally get where people are at. I get that this is maybe how some of us have been raised, or we have these fixed beliefs that we are working through. But with that said, if you're aware of it, catch yourself, right? Like if you're that friend that talks down about yourself or others, and you have a friend who is really optimistic, let them know, hey, I'm working on my words and how I communicate and talk, especially about myself. Let them know, like have an accountability buddy for this thing. There's nothing more powerful than the words you speak. Now, on top of that, folding in Gemini again. Geminis are ruled by Mercury. Now, if you go back a few episodes and kind of jog your memory a little bit, Mercury is the planet of communication, learning, thinking. And so we all have a Mercury placement. So if you look at your birth chart and find where your Mercury is, just look at what sign it's in to start. And is it in a fire sign? Leo, Aries, or Sagittarius? Your communication will tend to be more fiery or bold or upfront or passionate, okay? If it's in a water sign like Pisces, Scorpio, or Cancer, it's going to be more empathetic, intuitive, feeling-based, okay? Now, if it's in an earth sign, Capricorn, Virgo, Taurus, it's going to be more practical or grounded. And if it's an air sign like Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius, it's going to be more fast-paced, a little bit of like social. It's just gonna be a little more squirrely, I guess I would say. Like so many topics, so many thoughts, so many things to talk about that it just kind of jumps around sometimes. So with that, if you are willing to take that extra step for yourself today and for your well-being, because Starseed, I know the reason you're even here listening is because you feel called to something bigger than yourself. You feel called to a light and a difference that you're here to make, and only you yourself can make, okay? And this is one of the most empowering tools you can possibly have for yourself, is how you communicate and how you talk about yourself. Again, words, tone, body language, that all plays and paints a very clear image. But knowing that speaking isn't the only way to, what am I trying to say? Speaking this through is not the only way that things manifest. Plenty of people write things out, right? Or do vision boards or these things. Communication flows through different vessels and avenues. And the fact of the matter is, if you are unwilling to take a look at yourself and how you communicate, not only about yourself or with others, but also look at what are you writing? What are you texting? What other things like are you reading or learning? What are you consuming? This all plays a factor in the being that you are creating. I really like this quote for my witchy people out there. There's a reason it's called spelling, is because you are literally casting spells. And those are often written or spoken. or there's intention in the body language. Just, it's all so obvious once it's pointed out. But sometimes, if you're listening to this episode and you're like nodding and you're like, yeah, wow, I could be doing something different. Or, okay, I applaud that. If that's where you at, I love that. And thank you for feeling into what I'm sharing. On the opposite side, if you're experiencing some resistance, sit with that too. Where are you experiencing that resistance? Is it in your throat? Does your throat feel tight? Is it in your heart? You feel this kind of like tightness or sinking sensation? I'm not here to discipline you by any means. I'm simply here to shine a light on something that you may or may not be aware of. And something else that just came to me is the slang used in today's world. There's different slang happening all the time, and a lot of it can be low vibration, whether or not that's the intention you're using it in. So, current one going around right now, when something's really, really funny, okay, the thing to say is, oh my gosh, ha ha ha, I'm dead. You guys, stop it. Stop it right now. Like, just stop. Please, just choose a different phrase that says, like, literally do the opposite. Ha ha ha. Oh my gosh, this is giving me life. Wow. And the universe says what? And so it is. My go-to phrase, and I'm sure my friends really enjoy when I send this, is I just send it in all caps. I'm cackling. Ha 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 ha. Okay. Like, I refuse. This is a personal choice. I refuse, and I do not claim any of that low vibration verbiage or language, whether or not the intention behind that was high or low, right? Like, I don't use KO'd. I do not use I'm dead or this kills me or any of that, because our bodies are constantly listening and absorbing everything we say and do. And so with that, this is just like, I don't know if you can hear it in my voice. I'm obviously really passionate about this because I have just seen what happens when people choose not to change that, or if they choose to continue talking down on themselves or using that low vibration for, I don't know. Yeah. I've just seen what happens, and it's sad, and it feels thick and gunky, and that's not what anyone necessarily wants to see for their friends or family or coworkers. But it's also, you can lead a horse to water type of vibe. And so this is just me sharing what I've seen, what I've felt, what I've experienced. And I know when I first made the shift to speaking positively, it was an adjustment, and it was also an adjustment for my friends and family. And I also took it upon myself to, step in if one of my friends said, oh my gosh, like, I'm so dumb for that. Or, oh my gosh, I look massive in this dress, or whatever it was. I would simply say, hey, don't talk about my best friend that way. Or, hey, don't talk about someone I care about that way. And then it kind of like gets them to pause and realize, like, if you would never say that to one of your loved ones, then how dare you say it to yourself? Because the whole point of life is to learn, and I get that. And this is me simply teaching that it's time for you to learn to love yourself. There is only one you. No one else on this earth that we all chose to come down here and learn all these wonderful things and experience all these magnificent range of emotions is here to advocate for you like you. It's time to step into your power. It's time to step up and choose yourself and love yourself like no one else has before. Because truthfully, you are the only one who spends 100% of your time with you. So why not fill that time with love and patience and grace? Just let that sit for a minute. And in the final notes of this episode, I just want to express my love and gratitude for you guys. And you as Starseeds are doing magnificent things. And I feel the light work. I feel the vibration raising. And it's really incredible to know that there are so many of us out there that are willing to step in and step up. And I love that, this community is just growing and expanding, and I'm just so grateful. And I love you all so much. And happy Gemini season. Go out there, and you may feel inclined to be a little more social and chatty. So go out there and do literally what you're here to do, which is spread love and be the light that you are. You are so special, and no one else out there can do what you do, which is just being the magnificent starseed you are. So go out there and do it. And I love you guys, and until next time. I'm so grateful you tuned in today. As always, take what resonates and leave the rest. If you'd like to explore pieces that align with your starseed purpose, visit astrologyaesthetic.com. Trust yourself. You're exactly where you're meant to be.